Oh, first try. Let's go. Okay, we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What? 7? What? What was this? 7 chickens out of 16 eggs. And welcome back, guys, to another episode of my GTNH Nether-only run. I hope you guys have been doing well. As you just saw, I had quite a lucky encounter during my streams and wanted to highlight it as shown as in the intro. Yes, I got 7 chickens out of 16 eggs. Taking the binomial distribution to find the probability to get exactly 7 chickens, we are going to make the assumption that we are ignoring the 3.25% chance to spawn 3 chickens from 1 eggs. It comes down to a 0.16% chance. Not the proudest thing I have achieved, but that was certainly something. I really should have bought a lottery ticket that day. Right now, I am currently working on our LV power source. This is going to be creosote. Many people have asked to see the faucet automation for early game creosote, in particular in my tips and tricks video, so hopefully I can show it off right here. So what you're going to want to do is get a bunch of these faucets. They're pretty cheap, just a couple of clay and sand craft. And what you want to do is you want to place it on your coke oven with a pipe wrenched underneath. Then you can just right click this and it should empty the creosote very slowly into your tank. To automate this, all you need to do is attach a redstone signal onto it. So soon we will just put a clock iterating over this. For 48,000 EU in a semi-fluid generator, this is not a bad shout. This ended up really saturating my furnaces, as you can see. I like using these slab furnaces as they are quite dense. I also ended up getting some glass trade villages so we can replace some of our railcraft tank with these iron gauges. This is just a nice effect so we can actually see what fluid is inside the tank. In fact, I think they are actually cheaper than the normal tank walls, so if you want to build them in a normal run, go for these. So time for the actual redstone automation. Here, I just make a platform using spawn-proof blocks for the actual clock. This is the clock that I have designed and am going to be using. It is exclusively made up of 3 redstone torches and just pieces of redstone intersecting each other, which means that it is very cheap for me. Hooray! And then all you need to do is just route some of this redstone signal across the faucet and you are ready to rock and roll. So our next task will be trying to find cobalt for our actual semi-fluid generators. Yeah, this may be a task. These cobalt ingots can only spawn in these Stormcraft structures, so we are in for a fun ride. So let's get crafting a hanging glider and begin. Oh my god, double. I need to concentrate real quick. Oh, green sapphire, green sapphire. Okay. 2 nights of the way there. Now I believe Cloud saying it took him 11 hours to get all these green sapphires. Seems like the wisps just don't attack you when you're on the tower. Yeah, unlimited food is very nice. Why is this bat following me? That is one determined bat. Okay, I'm gonna empty my inventory. Cobalt. Hey, look what I see. 4. Oh my god. We are cooking. 6 green sapphires! 6 green sapphires! I just need 1 green sapphire and I've got everything. What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh my god. That is some insane luck. I literally just need 1 more. That is crazy. That was like an official 2 hours and 8 minutes. That's good, now I can make some proper progress. For some context, green sapphires are extremely important for our future progression. These sapphires actually gate HV for us, since we are required to make the green sapphire lens in order to make HV circuits. So currently, we will be stuck in MV until then. The reason why I am so excited is simply because the normal Garden of Grind method is horrific. You have a 0.002% chance to obtain it from a recycler, which equates to around 360,000 items in MV to be recycled in these machines, which can take weeks. These recyclers have a blacklist and blacklist certain items like cobble and water and nuggets and stuff like that. So getting these items is no simple challenge. You also need to place hundreds of recyclers if you want it in any reasonable time. Here's a compilation of some comments in the GTNH Discord. And hey, what do you know? Look what just happened here. Okay, what do I do with this guy? I do have a name tag, I could just frame him. Maybe that's how they all died. Oh, I don't know actually. Ah, he can just stay there. That's alright. It looks like we finally got another zombie villager just randomly spawn out of nowhere. I am not really sure how that spawned. I suspect it could be like zombie pigments dying to some of my crops. I'm not exactly sure, but this seems to be a very rare occurrence, so I decided to include it in the video. Let me know if you guys have any idea on how this guy spawned up here. So now it's time to finally push into LV. So that's going to involve doing all the pre-crafting to craft our first LV circuit. So we can craft our first turbine. Sadly, we are going to have to craft a steam turbine just so we can complete the quest and enter into LV. As you can see, I have crafted a bajillion tools in preparation for this. This steam turbine will be made instantly redundant since we got that cobalt earlier. The cobalt will be used to make the semi-fluid generators to power our LV infrastructure on pure creosote. In the new versions of the nightly in GTNH 2.8, cobalt has actually been removed from the semi-fluid generator recipe. So in those versions, you'll be able to instantly switch to these without having to suffer through the pain of RNG in looting these Thorm structures. It is truly much, 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 much better than Steam. I promise you that. Many people have already thanked me for introducing them to the concept. Okay, so let's skip to the steam turbine. There we are. We are now on the brink of crafting our first steam turbine. Let's freaking go. Look at that. Now we can power our machines on steam. Yay. We survived this whole adventure on this one single boiler. Our next step will be to make all the LV machines. We are really going to have to skimp on rubber. That's going to be our primary concern at this point in starting to make all the machines. Here is me just checking the quest book to see if there's any useful items we need, like we can coin buy. Fun tip, the tin cables that you unlock throughout LV are so helpful. Just keep buying them and you will be a-okay through the LV age. You will see me buying tin cables constantly and red alloy. Red alloy cables carry as well. You can actually convert those green coins into 10 more technician coins as an assembler recipe. So if you ever need more coins and you have green ones, make sure you look at their recipe map in NEI. So the first LV machine that we are going to want to craft will be the wire mill. Wires are notorious to make in GTNH, like crazy expensive. And that's definitely the first machine that you should be prioritizing. Some people argue between the bender and the wire mill, but I personally believe throughout all my challenge run experience and having a limited material sources, the wire mill is definitely the first machine to make. We will also be making that semi-fluid generator very early on. Um, we're going to want to replace all these steam machines ASAP with LV alternatives, just so we can get rid of this infrastructure once and for all and move on. You'll see me redoing my infrastructure like this in LV and then once again in HV. You don't need to revamp your infrastructure every single tier, but you just need enough to get by and make sure you re-stabilize. If you rush in GTNH, it only makes you play the game for longer. Don't get me wrong, there are times where you can rush, but always having that solidified infrastructural background, if that's what you call it, will help you a lot stay motivated in playing the pack. It really makes a lot of the crafting a lot more manageable when you can just batch craft tons of it and you're not constantly just starved for one circuit at a time. There's also the trap of making too much infrastructure but that is your card to coal. And here we are. We are about to use our first wire mill running on Steam. This will save us so much copper so I don't have to mine anymore because I absolutely despise mining. And look at that. 2 wires for one, oh, sorry, 8 fine wire for 1 ingot. That is like an insane saving of what we were doing before. This will make crafting the other machines so much easier. Okay, so now we are so close to the semi-fluid generator, just smelting our final Tambuga pieces, and we just need to make these 2 gears. We should have enough here to make at least the plates. Then we'll need to make the rods. Still going to be using wasteful recipes since I haven't made the bending machine yet, but I just want to get out of the steam and stop having to micromanage this water by hand. And keep in mind, at this point, I am still handcrafting water. Luckily, the RC boiler doesn't use like an insane amount of water per second, um, but it is a reasonable amount to get annoyed. And there we go. I even batched a bunch more Tumbuga. I don't actually know how you say it, Tumbuga, but I can't be bothered figuring it out. And nice. Let's go. Finally getting away from Steam. We are just going to plug this directly under our RC tank. I think I had a bit of time struggling on where to place it, but I'm pretty sure I placed it there so I can actually have access to that valve whenever I need to. The good thing about creosote is that it can actually just be pumped or like transported using wooden pipelines. So you don't need to waste like precious metals and high temperature pipeline materials to transport your fuel around your base. It really has like the opposite. It's really the complete opposite of steam, and it's just a blindingly obvious solution right there in your face. Nice. Time to finish building all the other LV machines and moving our current wire mill down there. We will just be using tin cables to distribute the power from this singular turbine that we currently have to all the machines, since these things are bloody expensive right now. Here we go. Here's our first bending machine. Boom. Next is our alloy smelter. And completed. Next is our compressor. Boom. And there we have replaced all of the steam machines, so we can get rid of this entire setup. Screw these steam machines. I think the only machine I haven't made yet is the extractor for rubber, but we will be doing that very soon. But I think I'll leave that until next episode. These episodes do take quite a long time to edit and record, and I am in full-time uni and also working. So any support by giving me a subscribe and a like would be appreciated. I'm quite a bit advanced in my streams, probably about a month ahead. I'm currently working on my Mega EBF, just finishing all the coils. So you guys will have quite something to watch out for. If you can't wait to find out, all my VODs are available. And I have been using quite a lot of glitches recently. So if you want to see those, check out my latest ones, especially to do with the clean room.